Hello everyone, this is Godzilla1 and I am back with another Sonic Frontiers live stream. Probably our last one until the final DLC comes out and we get that expansion on the game. This is pretty much just going to be me trying to beat the final boss. Like, that is pretty much what this is going to amount to, is me just trying to beat the final boss. Because turns out the final boss is actually pretty hard. Which is refreshing, to be honest. Like, it is just refreshing to have a good final boss. But, well, it's refreshing to have a good, challenging final boss. We're gonna say my coursework, so here we are. Hi, Alex, GB231. So yeah, probably the final boss. So, just the final boss, and this might be a shorter session because of that, because, well, we're just fighting the end boss. Let me just message this out. Yeah, from what I've heard, the final boss of this game, like, I think if I'd not fought the Supreme Titan on hard mode, which I shouldn't have as much trouble with the Supreme Titan this time around, because I know the trick to fighting it now. Though the game does not actually make it as all that easy to focus on the thing I wish it would let me focus on while fighting the final boss. I mean, the Supreme Titan. Also, I'm aware that the more times I die to the final boss, the more lives it gives me for it, which... Okay, that helps. But we shall see how this goes. It's been a week since I did this last, so maybe I'll have forgotten a lot, and this will be harder than I remember. Excuse me. Yeah, Hacking Minigame 4.0. Honestly, I think it's a decent boss, but I do wish that there were parts that were, like, supersonic based. But whatever. Did have Dragon. Instead of having we basically inverted the way we were doing things this week, where we did Dragonlance yesterday instead of the Radiant Citadel D&D thing I do. It was mainly just a... Yeah, exactly. It's fine enough, but it lacks in scope. Yeah. It was mainly just a roleplay session, like a big roleplay session where we found stuff out. And I got to use a homebrew illusion spell that characters have, that one of the players came up with, and it ended up... Wait a second. Okay, basically, it's a spell, it's a homebrew spell that creates, these, like, kind of spirits that is literally called summon backup dancers. And you can, like, summon ethereal spirits to do something. It's a silly spell, but it's got a lot of creativity to it. So my character actually ended up accidentally... If you've seen Balto 2, it was literally the Who Are You song playing, because that's her character arc. But anyway, let's do this. And we'll load from the quick save. If it doesn't start me on the final boss immediately, I'm going to rack up rings. I mean, on the Supreme Titan boss immediately, which it might. I don't know. If it does, that's going to be annoying. If not, I'm going to spend some time side looping to get max rings. But yeah, basically, yeah, okay, yeah. Because this will make beating the... Because I can beat the Supreme Titan now. I just want to make sure I have enough rings I can do it in one try. But, yeah, basically, Arceus' issue is she thought she knew everything she was, which was, you know, being a... Okay, there we go. Also, I'm curious as to how fast I actually am now. Answer. Very fast. But basically, Arceus knew she was a gravekeeper and a carpenter. She knew she was that. She thought she was happy with it. But now she realizes that there's apparently something about her that Habakkuk, which is the god she's a cleric of, sees in her that she does not see in herself. And now she's stuck wondering, what did he see in me? You know, why was I the chosen one? You know. Yeah, one apparently has a cyberspace challenge mode in which if you S-rank all of them, you can use power boost in cyberspace. Huh. Not actually sure how good that would be, to be honest. I'm sure if... Well, at least for me. Okay. Nope. We're doing you. And instantly knock it down to its second phase, which... Once you figure out the trick to this guy, he's actually not that tough. The problem is figuring out that trick sometimes. The flies now. Okay, there we go. Supreme Titan down. Now we just gotta beat the end. Wait, did I set it to hard? Did I accidentally set it to hard mode? Did I remember to set it to hard mode? If I didn't, that's a problem.
Is that it?
All we did was chase it out of its shell. It's retreating into space to regain its true form. Even Supersonic won't be able to stop it.
Okay, is there just a reset?
I must leave you.
I understand.
And also, it's not letting me skip this, which I feel like it should.
Function?
I mean, I don't know what to do if I did forget to do that. I mean, I can just reload the save, I know that much, but still.
Hurry, before it regains its full strength.
Ladies first. Be careful, dear daughter.
Well, if I fail the QTE, does it restart the whole thing, or does it just restart the QTE? Because if it restarts the QTE, I could...
He took your home world. He took your lives. Are you going to let him do it all over again? I need your help. We can end this. Please.
Okay, good. No. Okay, good.
Mortal, you have served your purpose. Now face your end. I am the all-consuming void. What can one mote of golden light illuminate within the abyss?
Countless stars, countless worlds, countless lives.
Oops. Okay, that's a problem.
All brought to nothing. All between chaos of creation. Brought to order, to neutrality, to nothing. I saw your mind as you ran through my prison. You have fought machines and gods. They were mighty. They were finite. I am infinite. I am nothing. You struggle as so many have done before. You will be consumed like all those before you. I saw your mind. Your courage never wavered. Why?
Okay, not doing badly, but I did lose a life, which is a problem.
I was contained once. Once. Is that why? My captors bent time and space. My captors built a whole reality to contain me. My captors burned their souls away to fuel their engines. And you...
Okay, I am still confused by that last part, but for my first try in a week, that isn't bad, actually.
Mortal, you have served your purpose. Now face your end. I am the all-consuming void.
I do like that this thing has dialogue and isn't just like a faceless horror. It kind of reminds me of Unicron, which probably might actually be one of the influences. Who knows?
Countless lives. All fell to me. All brought to nothing. All the tuning chaos of creation. Brought to order, to neutrality, to nothing. I saw your mind as you ran through my prison. You have fought machines and gods. They were mighty. They were finite. I am infinite. I am nothing. You struggle as so many have done before.
Yeah, it's easier to just stick to one.
My goal rose before you. I saw your mind. Your courage never wavered. Why? Arrogance.
Hey, doing better this time around.
Stupidity. I was
Pretty sure here's the big doom beam.
Is that one? My captors bent time and space. My captors built a whole reality to contain me. My captors burned their souls away to fuel their engines. And you...
You know, the sad thing I thought of is that if Sage and Sonic had actually worked together much earlier, they might have actually been able to just beat this thing outright with all four Titans. If they found out a way to just free it and fight it with all four Titans and Super Sonic at the same time. died, but not doing too poorly. Yeah, this is a bullet hell, and it is really a lot of bullets. Okay. Yeah, this is a bullet hell, which...
Mortal, you have served your purpose.
But yeah, I can imagine, like, had Sage calculated for Sonic and Eggman teaming up earlier and convinced Eggman of it, they probably could have actually killed this thing outright with the 4 Titans. Because I think the implication is that it's weakened, but like it is a weakened form of itself, but at the same time, that implies that had they had all 4 Titans, they might have actually been able to beat it.
All the teeming chaos of creation.
Like, beat it outright, like, just beat it out, overpower it outright, is what I mean.
To nothing.
Because if it's weakened enough, just the Supreme...
I saw your mind as you ran through my prison.
Okay, does that like the original game? Okay, I looked closer, but I'm in a bullet hell. I can't exactly look closer.
They were finite. I am infinite. I am nothing. You struggle as so many have done before. You will be consumed like all those before you. I saw your mind. Your courage never...
Okay, I'd look at it, but I'm in the middle of a bullet hell, so I can't really do that right now.
Arrogance, ignorance, stupidity.
Okay, read the dialogue box before the fight. It tells you to work with the Titans, plural. So yeah, maybe at one point in development they did have the idea that all 4 Titans would survive and you'd be fighting it with all 4 of them.
My captors built a
rather than just Supreme. I can understand why that might have been changed. It might have been too complex. Okay, this is the hard part, because I'm having trouble figuring out the best way to deal with this. This part, not so much. This part's actually fairly straightforward. The question is, can I survive that final section with 1 life left? That is the big question.
You glitter. You fly about me like a gnat. I am inevitable. I cannot be denied. You strike this incarnation with all your might. It changes nothing. You are not brave. You are not victorious. No matter what form I take.
And that was just me screwing up. That one was just me screwing up. But yeah, work with the Titans. Yeah, it probably was, which is a shame. Maybe they'll add that in a DLC thing.
Now face your end.
I guess maybe they would have found a way to revive the Titans after Sonic destroyed them. Or, you know, Sonic destroying them was outright a later addition. Maybe.
Countless stars, countless worlds, countless lives. All fell to me, all brought to nothing.
I know the DLC that set seems to be something to do with a different story dealing with Amy, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles.
I saw your mind as you ran through my prison.
Oop, okay, that was me losing track of myself.
Gods, then the mighty. They were finite. I am infinite. I am nothing. You struggle as so many have done before. You will be consumed like all those before you. I saw your run. Your courage never wavered. Why? Arrogance, ignorance, stupidity.
Yeah.
I was contained once. Is that why? My captors bent time and space. My captors built a whole reality to contain me. My captors burned their souls away to fuel their engines.
Okay, made it through that. Okay, that didn't work the way it was supposed to. I pressed the right button. Shoot. I mean, I give them this, the boss is tough.
Mortal, you have served your purpose.
Also, I realize I can change the... And okay, that was just me being... That was me being stupid. That was me focusing more on the fact that I realized I could change the music than on anything else.
What can one mote of golden light illuminate within the abyss?
Countless stars, countless worlds, countless lines.
Okay, that's the annoying part, is...
All fell to me, all brought to nothing. All the teeming chaos of creation brought to order, to neutrality, to nothing.
Yeah, that was just me losing track of where I am. If you guys don't mind me changing the back... Like, this is good music. Like, all the music in this game is really good. I just... You know, maybe some variety, because we're probably going to be here a while.
They were finite. I am infinite. I am nothing. You struggle as so many have done before. You will be consumed like all those before you. I saw your line. Your courage never wavered.
The thing that there is for me is available.
Arrogance, ignorance, stupidity.
Okay, I guess maybe, maybe not. Looks like I could, but I guess I can't. I wish it would let you, actually. Like, the music's good in the boss fights, I just... Like, this game honestly has some of the strongest music overall.
My captors built a whole reality to contain me. My captors burned their souls away to fuel their engines. And you...
Have to have an order to check off. Okay, understood. Yeah, you don't need to change it. I just wish that they'd let you in a boss like this where I just end up dying a lot. Yeah, I can agree. Okay, now let's try not to...
Now face your end. I am the all-consuming void. What can one
Skip between the lasers. Okay.
Countless stars, countless worlds, countless lives. All fell to me, all brought to nothing. All the teeming chaos of creation brought to order, to neutrality.
I don't know if hitting him actually, when I don't have the big super thing, actually does anything. It might. I think it might actually fill up. Okay, I got a little turned around there.
You have fought machines and gods. They were mighty. They were finite. I
You know, in a way, I could see this kind of being like,
You will be consumed like all those before you.
what was it?
Your mind, more courage never wavered.
In Discworld, there's one of the books where, and I just messed up a little bit there, where there's a version, if you know Discworld, you know how Death works. He's very passive and doesn't view he's very adamant that his job is not to kill people, it's to ferry them to the next world, because that's his job. Well, there's a book where there's like a second version of Death ends up being created that's kind of more like a egomaniac hunter sort of thing, and Death basically is very adamant that that's not how he should be, because he's not supposed to be the destroyer. He's supposed to just be the what do you call it, the ferryman, and he takes offense to that. I can kind of see this being like that, where technically the end is inevitable, but the entity is going about this wrong. And I keep forgetting to press the button that will, you know, deal big damage. In fact, I think it's actually the only thing that can damage this dang thing. I keep forgetting to do that. Okay, but like, that's the thing. I see this thing more as maybe, you know, the end is not always a bad thing, but it's also one of those things that the fact the end seems to want to end everything. Okay, Okay, I see what you mean by that. Personally, I see this thing more as Unicron. Like, sort of a Unicron thing that thinks it's the inevitable end of everything. But yes, I was. Shoot, okay, that was me. Okay, we are almost there, but I'm out of lives. I think I'm out of lives.
I cannot be denied.
But I see this thing more as Unicron.
Strike this incarnation with all your might. It changes nothing. You are not brave. You are not victorious. No matter what form I take.
This is a hard one. Ah, that was so close. I was so close.
You have served your purpose. Now face your end.
Okay, I'll respond to things when I get a moment to breathe.
What can one mote of golden light illuminate within?
Okay, we'll keep that in mind.
Countless stars.
I mean, I wouldn't expect this to be
Countless lives.
easy because it's the final boss.
All fell to me.
It's the final boss on that you only fight on hard mode. So I'm assuming the game expects you to be very confident in your abilities to even attempt to fight this thing.
To neutrality. To nothing. I saw your mind as you ran through my prison. You have fought machines and gods. Then the mighty. They were finite.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
I am nothing. You struggle as so many have done before. You will be consumed like all those before you.
Like, I think there's a difference between, like, death from Puss in Boots and you, and who, you know, is genuinely inevitable, cannot be defeated. Okay, now I can actually look at this, because this actually does not... Okay, each incarnation of death is a different aspect of death as the final opponent. Okay.
Is that one?
Yeah, but you can... The thing is, you can beat Necron. You can defeat Necron, you just... And what's obvious to one person is not obvious to everyone. Like, there's been multiple times I've gotten stumped by something, I realize afterwards, okay, I really should have used the company. Okay, that. Yeah, though, the Bible also does say Christ already beat death for us, so it's one of those things like, I think there are different aspects of death, but and fiction can have a lot of fun, you know, unravel, like, and have a lot of fun with that, because, you know, fiction, in real life, like, death is not an anthropomorphic embodiment of anything, it's just, you know, death. Like, well, we don't know, like, we've never seen, like, I don't think there's a person alive who's ever seen the literal embodiment of death, but still. We've all, like, I think everyone's encountered death in some capacity.
Incarnation with all your might.
I know I certainly have lost people.
You are not brave. You are not victorious.
Honestly, at this point, I kind of read it as this thing trying to convince itself that it's inevitable. Okay, so I thought I had another life left. If I had one more life left, I would have beat that.
Mortal, you have served your purpose. Now face your end. I am the all-consuming void. What can one mote of golden light illuminate within the abyss?
Count
Also, it is an interesting definition when you think of what does defeating death actually mean. Like, obviously, the outright one is you defeat death, no one dies anymore. But in some, I've actually, but you know, what if death is not like an actual person to conquer? You know, it's an interesting concept that like, also, in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and sorry if some people have not seen it yet, it's been out for a very long time, so... in the end, Puss technically could be said to have won, but the thing is, he won by learning the lesson Death wanted him to learn. So did he actually technically defeat Death, or did he not? Like, did Puss defeat Death at the end of Puss in Boots' Last Wish? Or did he just learn, or did Death win, but he won in a way that Puss did not have to die? Like, you know... One second. Sorry about that.
I was contained once. Is that why?
Yeah. Oh, crud, yeah, I think I've heard of that one, and I know that there's a comic with... the Sandman comic actually has Dream get captured. And, like, the Sandman, the newer comic, you know, begins with Dream getting captured, and it causes a lot of problems, for obvious reasons, but he says that they were lucky they didn't do what they originally set out to do, which was capture Death. Because he basically said, as bad as capturing me went for everyone, it would have been a lot worse if you'd actually caught my sister like you were planning. Bullet hells are not easy to deal with. Okay. Inevitably releases Death back into the world. Yeah. Okay, got an extra life, so that'll help. But yeah, in the Sandman comics, that is actually one of the inciting incidents, is a bunch of people try to bind Death but get Dream by mistake, which causes a lot of pandemonium. Because there were a few times I felt like if I had an extra life, I might actually have won. Like, it's just, there's so much stuff on screen, it's really hard to actually figure out what...
Countless lives.
Okay, that's what annoys me, is when I just end up paying...
All the teeming chaos of creation brought to order, to neutrality, to nothing. I saw your mind as you ran through my prison. You have fought machines and gods. They were mighty.
One thing people have pointed out is it's not really clear if the end would refer to Solaris.
You struggle as so many have done before. You will be consumed like all those before you. I saw your mind, your courage never wavered. Why? Arrogance, ignorance, stupidity.
Yeah. I do like that the end doesn't seem to actually comprehend the idea that Sonic might legitimately have confidence he can win. But the reason I say it might, it's debatable whether or not it would actually refer to Solaris as part of that. Who's probably the being that would have the biggest chance of being considered comparable to the end. And because Solaris kind of no longer exists, and Sonic would not remember Solaris having ever existed. So it's kind of one of those things like, yeah, that I'm aware of, that the end kind of assumes the form of whatever its interpretation of the person viewing its interpretation of death actually is. Oh wait, I've got one more life left. So I might be able to beat this thing.
You glitter. You fly about me like a gnat. I am inevitable. I cannot be denied. You strike this incarnation with all your might. It changes nothing. You are not brave. You are not victorious. No matter what form I take.
No! Oh, I was so close. This is a hard boss. I know I keep saying that, but this is legitimately a really hard... I honestly feel like this is probably the hardest Sonic boss fight I've had in a very long time.
Now face your end.
Like, and Sonic has had some really tough boss fights. That's not saying he hasn't. It's just that was the hardest one. This is the hardest one I've had, final boss I've had in a very long time in a Sonic game.
Countless stars, countless worlds, countless lives. All fell to me, all brought to nothing. All the teeming chaos of creation brought to order, to neutrality, to nothing. I saw your mind as you ran through my prison.
Also, sorry if I go quiet mode at any point in this. I'm just really trying hard to actually, you know, win.
They were finite. I am infinite. I am nothing. struggle as so many have done before. You will be consumed like all those before you. I saw your mind. Your courage never wavered.
It's hard, but whether it's hard for the right reasons, I don't know. I feel like it's hard for the right reasons, because I feel like there is a... Because, see, I've gotten this far without losing a life. So, that makes it very clear it is possible to... You know... Honestly, this kind of reminds me a little bit of Omega Flowey from Undertale. Then again, that might be just because it's a...
My captors burn their souls away to fuel their engines. And you...
That might also be because every combat in Undertale is kind of meant to be a bit of a bullet hell. Okay, that annoyed me. Okay, I got one life. If I can make it to that final section without dying one more time, I might actually be able to beat this guy.
You glitter. You fly about me like a gnat. I am inevitable. I cannot be denied. You strike this incarnation with all your might. It
Okay, I don't think I can
changes
actually
nothing.
hurt him at this point.
You are not brave. You are not victorious. No matter what form I take.
Okay, I've still got one life left.
The end comes for you all.
Okay, here we go. So what do I have to do? Okay, Sage is taking over, protecting it. Also, can we comment on the fact that from what we saw of the homeworld being destroyed, that is pretty much a planet buster they're fighting back? Like a planet buster way stronger than the Eclipse cannon? Okay, I'm assuming here comes the QTE. What will we do? Okay, I see what it is. There we go! QTE accomplished. Whew. Did I win? Is that the end? Did we beat the end? A land at peace. Yeah, we beat him. It. Her. I'm assuming it's a it. Sonic called it a he, but the voice was kind of one of those voices you can't tell if it's male or female, and it's an eldritch abomination, so... Oh, it's trying to pull a Frieza and, like, self-destruct to take us all with it. Huh. Okay, so Sage lands the killing blow.
Father.
So Sage sacrifices herself to pull the healing... to land the healing blow. I'm hoping that's not the end of her, because I like Sage a lot. Okay, so Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails are back. Good. I mean, Amy, Knuckles, and Tails are back. I kind of hope Sage becomes one of those characters that just is a recurring staple of the franchise, because she's... I like her a lot, and she adds a lot to Eggman.
Woohoo! Yes!
All right.
Yeah, true. So we defeated the End, which was an eldritch horror from beyond time and space. Okay, I like that. I like that sad moment of Eggman mourning the loss of his daughter. Yeah, Sonic probably should... There should probably be a scene of Sonic reacting to that, because Sage was his friend. So, yeah, if that's the case, that is kind of a flub. Okay, so... That was Sonic Frontier, unless there's a post-credit scene, which there very well could be. Yeah, I'm going to wait for the credits, because games nowadays do have post-credit scenes, which is weird. But that was Sonic Frontiers, and I'm going to echo a lot of people's statements and say this is probably the best Sonic game in years. Like, I genuinely think this is... And yeah, it is good post-credits. It is good credits music. Yeah, I'm gonna say I will agree with the sentiment that this is probably the best Sonic game we've had in years. And I liked Frontier. Like, Forces. I enjoyed Sonic Forces. But... Let me see here. Okay, so Sonic Mania is really good. But that was way back in 20... Sonic Mania is weird because... Okay, so let me rephrase that. The best 3D Sonic game we've had in a long time. Because Sonic Mania is really good. Like, Sonic Mania is great. Yeah, it's got problems, but I'd say it's probably the best 3D Sonic game we've had since Colors. And I did like Sonic Generations. Like, Sonic Generations is good. I don't think we've had a super bad Sonic game, but I do feel like Forces was problematic. I liked Sonic Forces, but I know a lot of people did not. And it's got its problems. Honestly, I think, of course, from the sound of it, even with the game that actually is really good, we end up with it being rushed by Sega and causing problems that way. Sega, stop rushing your Sonic games. Like, seriously. why? Why do you keep rushing your Sonic games? And yeah, the creator has actually flat out said that the second half of the game is a little worse than the first half purely because Sega didn't give them time to finish it. And that's dumb. Like, that is really dumb. You see. Yeah, modders have gone through the game files, and apparently they have found out that the final boss was supposed to have a proper boss sequence in there, with the bullet hell being only part of it. So that is something. So, yeah, and though fortunately the sight, sounds, and speed update did bring in a lot of the dummied out feature, which was, the jukebox, which was supposed to be in there originally. And the spin dash is going to be implemented in a future update, which is nice. So hopefully one of these updates will add in the original intended final boss fight the way it was supposed to be. Oh.
So, that was fun. But I guess it's time we got moving. I know you all have big plans.
You're gonna hardly recognize me when we see each other again.
I wonder if Cream and Sticks are free.
Make a road trip out of it.
Oh, but they mentioned Sticks.
It'll be good to get back to my island.
I didn't think she was in the classic continuity.
We're wasting daylight.
I guess she is now.
Let's go.
I mean, I don't mind. I like it when they bring in I actually want to see what she's like, honestly. Like, I kind of want to see what the mainline version of her is like. Okay, so Sonic. That was a mid-credit scene. So, yeah, I'm hoping that is leading towards spin-off games. I really hope that's what that's leading for, because this game did really well. Like, this is probably one of the best received Sonic games we've had in a long time. So, I'm hoping that means that we're going to have spin-off games for them. Let me see. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so they had the crew. Yeah, the moon is what the players see as the end. Sage and Sonic saw something completely different, and they probably each saw something different. Also, the creator has said that they might actually be doing changes to the final boss in DLC, which, if so, that'll be interesting. Though the DLC for this game is free. Like, the DLC for this game is all free, and I really am happy for that. Let me see. Yeah, they really needed to... Sega, stop rushing your games. Like, just stop rushing your games. Problem with that is it doesn't have a PS4 release. I would love to play Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, but it doesn't have a PS4 release, unfortunately. And my computer can't stream on YouTube very easily. And, in fact, I've never really been able to have issues. I've always had issues trying to stream. from my computer. But I have it downloaded. I'll probably play it on my own time at some point. Let me see. Let me check something. Huh. Huh, interesting. Apparently, the creator, if it had not gotten shot down by Sonic Team, the game creator actually did. The creators did actually want to have the final boss at the end have Hypersonic as what you're fighting him with, which would actually be interesting, honestly, if that had happened. I mean, I'm sure there are modders that are going to do that for the PC version. Yeah, so given the fact that there was meant to be a more gameplay section of the end boss fight and the whole dummied in, yeah, Hypersonic would have made sense. Like, Hypersonic would have actually made a lot of sense. Yeah, well, you're at least fighting Sonic Unicron. You are at least fighting the Sonic equivalent of Unicron. So, yeah, you're at least doing that. But, yeah, Hypersonic would have made sense. Apparently, the Sonic team as a whole just does not like the Hyperforms because they want to avoid the whole next tier power-up trope, which is understandable, but I think in this particular case it actually would have made sense for Hypersonic to come back, like you said, but I understand why not. But I'm sure there are modders that, yeah, I can appreciate it too. I am fairly certain that the I am fairly certain that modders will probably include that. Huh? What's this? Yes, yes, I want that. I want that a lot. I want to see her getting her... Okay, what are you doing, Eggman?
Father?
That's my girl.
He brought Sage... Oh, cool, he brought Sage back. Okay. Alright, I am not complaining with that. Cyberspace Challenge and Battle Rush. Cyberspace Challenge is a time attack in which session of cyberspace stages are played in a row. Battle Mash is a time battle against enemies, guardians, and titans can be fought. So basically a boss rush. Okay, so... Sage before a heroic sacrifice, so a backup. So, yeah. Okay, so final thoughts on the game. It's really good. I agree, this is the best Sonic game we've had, the 3D Sonic game we've had in years. No, Sonic Colors came out in 2010, which makes me feel old. Which was 13 years ago. Before her heroic sacrifice, but it could still be a version of her that had character development because the screen is blue. Like the screen is blue, which is the color of her good. Okay, yeah, so it's a backup of Sage that she created. Either she created or it was there. Yeah, Sonic Mania, yeah, that's a good game. This is a good game. I'd say definitely the best 3D Sonic game we've had since Colors. overall, I say, yeah, it'd probably be up there in my top 5. I'd say Colors still beats it. How does it stack up with the adventure games? I don't know how to describe it. They're separate ways for now. They're separate ways for now. I'm really hoping that that does genuinely lead to spin-offs for those 3. Because I would really love to get spin-offs of the other characters again. Because it was planned to do that, and they did it with Tails. Tails and Knuckles have had spin-offs. Yeah, that's the thing. So I think adventure games are probably higher. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, they did. There's been 3 spin-offs for characters other than Sonic, which was Knuckles Chaotix, Tails Adventure, and Shadow the Hedgehog. Which, I'm going to be honest, I know Shadow the Hedgehog gets a lot of crap. I honestly rather like Shadow the Hedgehog as a game. It's flawed. It is really flawed. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I agree with that. That's one thing that made the adventure game stand out. Heroes did it too, and I really like Heroes. Yeah, I like Shadow the Hedgehog too. I like the game. It's got flaws. It has a lot of flaws, but I like that game. I wish I'd go get an updated re-release that would fix the flaws. Like, there are 2 updates that I need that I think could make Shadow the Hedgehog really good, which would be, and I'm sure modders could do this in a heartbeat if they wanted to. Change it from you having to get every single ending to unlock the last story to maybe having to unlock a good, evil, and neutral ending. You know, something like that. Because I do agree, unlocking every single ending of that game to get the true ending, that's too much. But maybe a good, evil, and neutral ending, or... how many endings does Shadow the Hedgehog have? Yeah, there are a total of, I believe, like, of 10 endings, I think. Honestly, I think you could narrow it down to 5. Like, you just have to complete 5 endings. Like, you don't have to get the dark and light ending to each path. You can just get either or ending. But yeah, I think, and then fix some of the physic engine problems with Shadow the Hedgehog, and I think it'd be good. I personally like it, and I'm going to be honest, this might get me, this might be fandom heresy. I wouldn't mind seeing Black Doom as the main villain of the next Sonic game. Yeah, get each path, yeah. I honestly would not mind if they included Black, because we know Shadow, I think Sonic the Hedgehog 2 has been out long enough I can talk about it. And we know Shadow the Hedgehog is going to be in the next Sonic movie. Honestly, I wouldn't mind Black Doom being the greater scope villain. I would not mind Black Doom being the secondary villain, or the greater scope villain instead, because I wouldn't mind that. Or a spin-off movie for Shadow. We're getting a spin-off TV series for Knuckles, so a spin-off movie with Shadow that basically kind of follows his game. I wouldn't mind that. But let me see. But back to Sonic Frontiers. This is a great game. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that, honestly. But, so Sonic Frontiers, great game. I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10, honestly. And I think the big thing in my mind, I'm trying to think of, do I like this better or worse than Sonic Heroes? Because I like Sonic Heroes. one of the better ones, and it actually, kind of does the same thing that Sonic Adventure has. I really do like Sonic Heroes. I like Sonic Heroes. But I think gameplay-wise, this game is better than Sonic Heroes. So I'm going to say this is above Sonic Heroes. Below the adventure games, but above Sonic Heroes. Yeah, that sounds about right. If we're Sonic 3 and Knuckles is up there pretty high too for me. Like Sonic 3 and Knuckles is really good, and I have the Sega Sonic collection. I've beaten all the classic games. I did use cheat codes to basically save. Like, I did use save states. Well, I can put adventures over them. That I can kind of agree with. Yeah, I can agree with that. Let me see. Sonic. Yeah, I use save states to beat the classic Sonic games because, honestly, I feel if you're going to port an arcade game to a home console, you should just add save states. Sonic Frontier versus Sonic Unleashed. That is a good question. I'm honestly going to say Frontier. I like Unleashed. Unleashed I really like. I think, honestly, I feel the Werehog segments get overhated. The Nintendo version with Unleashed was mine. I like Sonic Unleashed. Sonic Unleashed is a good game. But I think Frontier beats it. Okay, so good game. Glad I finished it. I will be back to this game when one of the updates comes out. If the update changes up the final boss, I might redo the final boss because I might do the final boss again with the new updates if that happens, because I think that'd be cool to see. But we will definitely be doing the story DLC when it comes out. Now, as for what we're doing next, I actually have quite a few games. Like, I do have a few games. I'm debating which ones to play because I've got a good bit of variety. One thing I'm debating is whether to do an action game or something a bit more chill. But I'm leaning more towards something a bit more action-y because the thing is we're doing Digimon Survive, and then after that we're going to be doing Eligible Scaly Wings, the Saturday one. So that's going to be less of an action thing and more of a mystery. So I might do one of the action games. I got Yooka-Laylee. Yooka and Lele, I've got that game, which I'm interested in that one. I am interested in that one. It was made as a spiritual successor to Banjo and Kazooie. I've got that one on here. I might do that one because I'm actually curious about that one. I know very little about that, but I've heard mixed things about it. Like, generally, it's accepted it's a decent game. Like, generally, it's seen as a good game. But the problem is that it does vary depending on the person. People have called it a weak version of Banjo. I've heard the sequel is better. I've heard the sequel is a lot better. Like, I've heard the sequel is improved. We'll see. I might actually try that. I've got the PS4 version, which was originally a bad port, but they thankfully fixed it. Like, they thankfully fixed that issues. So I might play that one and just see what it is. Because the thing is, I did play Banjo-Kazooie when I was a kid, but that was decades ago. So So I'll be approaching it from a very fresh perspective. Apparently, the second one though is really like is a lot better. Like apparently, the second one is a big improvement. So I might try to get the second one, but I kind of want to try that. I've also got Just Cause 4, which if I want action, Just Cause 4. It's like I called Just Cause 3 and 2. It's cheesy action movie simulator. So we'll see. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Bye! I still don't have a catchphrase.